What is up, people? So today I wanted to talk really quickly about something that has totally changed my way that I am mixing stuff now.
The FabFilter Pro-Q3 is going to change your life. It changed mine, and let's talk about that.
It is a professional EQ. It's not inexpensive. It's around $200, and sometimes they have sales where you can get it discounted. And disclaimer, two disclaimers. One, I'm not a mix engineer. This is definitely not what I do for a living. I play drums for a living. I make online educational content for a living, but mixing is a part and a growing part of what I do every single day. So it's something I need to get better at and that I have gotten better at. So I'm not a professional mixing engineer, so take all of this with just, this is my way that I view it, but this is not, my thing. And then secondly, I don't think typically you should rely on gear to help you improve at life. A lot of times, we want to buy something that will just, it's an easy fix. I just buy this and I'll sound better. I'll buy this and my mix will be better. I'll buy this and I'll play drums better. And that's not true. You should totally max out what you already have that's free, that's stock, and whatever DAW you're mixing in before you just decide to spend $200. Because if you don't really know what you're doing with a free plugin, you're not gonna know what you're doing with a really expensive plugin. So just because it's expensive and it maybe sounds better, if you don't know what you're doing, it's like having a $100 drum set and a $3,000 drum set, but you don't know how to play drums. Either way, it's gonna sound bad. But any great drummer can make a $100 drum set sound good. But if they have a $3,000 drum kit, they will sound better. And that's a little bit of where I'm at with this whole thing. I've kind of maxed out my chops and I've learned a ton about EQing and stuff with stock stuff. And this FabFilter is just incredible. So I'll play the mix with the stock Logic EQs, and then I'll play the mix with the FabFilter EQ, and I don't know. You'll have to tell me if you hear a difference. I definitely do. And again, I'm not a professional mixing engineer, but this is something that I've gotten a lot better at in the last couple of years and something I'm continuing to learn more and more about. So let's hop into these mixes and see what's going on. All right, everyone, we're here at the computer, and I want to give you two things. I want to play you these drums, and then I want to play you my vocals and just show you how amazing this FabFilter works. So, by the way, the FabFilter looks like this. Awesome interface. There are a ton of full-on tutorials. This is not going to be a full tutorial because I just got it yesterday. But like I said, for the most part, if you look at the kick drum here, the stock Logic EQ kind of has a boost here at the low end, a boost here in the high end, and I take out a little bit here in the middle. And then very similarly, the FabFilter, boost here in the low end, boost here in the high end, take out a little bit in the middle. But for some reason, in my opinion, the FabFilter just sounds way better. So what we're gonna do is I'll play you these drums soloed up, and there's a little bit of multi-band compression to take out a little bit of, there's a little bit of compression overall and a little bit of multi-band compression to just take out some of the weirdness, mid-range weirdness in my room. So you can hear the drums a little bit clearer, which is a move I do on pretty much every mix I do anyway. But what I'll do is I'll play this, no EQ. The only thing that's going on here for the drums, this vocal's a little different, but for the drums, I have inverted the phase on the snare bottom and the overheads. But I'll play you these drums, no EQ, and then I'll play you the drums with the stock Logic EQ, and then I'll play you the drums with the FabFilter EQ, and I think you'll hear the difference. And like I said, this FabFilter, I just kind of threw it up and did what I usually did for most of the channels. I did all the same moves, but for some reason the FabFilter just, to me, sounds better. So here are the drums, no EQ, no nothing, just phase corrected. Okay, so those are the drums, no EQ, and now here are the drums with the stock Logic EQs. So you can hear that's everything's a little bit better defined, a little bit cleaned up, but it's harsh. And I've never heard my mixes as harsh before. And part of that is I'm always mixing for people to be able to hear on a phone. So that's going to make my mixes trend a little bit harsher because computer speakers don't really, or iPhone speakers don't really hear low end. But the FabFilter is just kind of blowing my mind. So that was the stock EQ. Here is EQ. All I've done is pulled up the FabFilter and EQ'd each channel like I normally would, but for some reason, you know, here it is. All right, let's hear the Logic again. And the FabFilter. To me, hands down, FabFilter is it. It's warmer, it's fuller, it's fatter, and this is the Pro-Q3. I think the two reasons that are really helping out is one, this analyzer just kind of shows you where your peaks are, what's going on. It grabs that image and I can go in and I can dial this stuff in. So that's the first thing. That analyzer gets you to where you need to, you have build up and whatever. It shows you where your peaks are and you can go there and just attack them really quickly without having to hunt. You know, I've mixed enough now to know when I'm listening, oh, there's something around the 800 area that needs help or whatever. But it always takes a second to dial it in, and having an analyzer just throw it up there for you that's accurate is pretty amazing. And then the other thing is every band that you start editing, you know, you can change the frequency and the gain, and you can change the Q like always. But you also have this little headphone that if you click it, it will solo that band. So as you're listening, it just allows you to get a lot more accurate. You know, most people just kind of create a little spike and create a narrow Q and then hunt around for stuff. But the ability to solo stuff is just kind of incredible. So I think those are kind of two of the reasons. The analyzer showing you stuff that you know, you might not have seen before, and the band solo just getting you a much more accurate read of things. The last thing I want to do is show you my vocals. So when I record most of these videos, it's from a shotgun mic that's far away. So it's always been really, really hard for me to get really good low end in my voice because the mic is so far away. And when I start boosting that stuff with the stock EQ, it just gets a little wonky. It starts getting a little like phasey because, you know, as you can see, I have to remove some weird stuff in the middle. But when I start boosting this low end, it just doesn't sound good. So here's how my vocal sounded with the stock Logic plugin. And I have a slight compressor on it. And then I also have a denoiser to take out some of the room tone because it's a shotgun mic. So here's what the mix sounded like with the stock Logic EQ.
They almost sound in the room. They almost sound compressed. I know that's weird. Maybe there's some science to that. Maybe you people that know more about drums than I do, like maybe there's some science to that, but I don't know.
Sounds good. But here's what it sounded like with the FabFilter. And again, I'm making a lot more cuts. And usually when I make this many cuts, things start to sound very, very, very weird. But for some reason, you can just keep making cuts with this EQ and it just doesn't start sounding weird. So again, here's the stock Logic plugin.
They almost sound in the room. They almost sound compressed. I know that's weird. Maybe there's some science to that. Maybe.
And then here's the FabFilter.
They almost sound in the room. They almost sound compressed. I know that's weird. Maybe there's some science to that. Maybe you people that know more about drums than I do, like maybe there's some science to that. But I don't know. These drums just sound really.
Logic.
They almost sound in the room. They almost sound compressed. I know that's weird. Maybe there's some science to that. Maybe you people that know more about drums than I do, like maybe there's some science to that. But I don't know. These drums just sound really, really great.
That to me is a world of difference, and I've never been able to get that low end with any other EQ. It always just starts to get weird and sound phasey because I don't know. I have no idea. FabFilter has just figured it out. So there's a huge difference in those, and this plugin is so worth it. Pro tip, if you're an educator, they give a 50% discount if you can prove that you're an educator, which I can because I've done a lot of stuff on the internet, which makes it easy. But I got a 50% discount because they have an educational program that allows you to get 50% off whatever if you can prove you're an educator. So that stuff is out there. Ableton does a very similar thing. So just a pro tip in general, when you're buying software and stuff, always look for the educational discount. And if you are a college student or a high school student, or you are in a professional educator of some kind, that discount is typically available with a lot of companies. But this is just a quick rundown of my first impression. This is by no means like a full tutorial, obviously. I only got this plugin yesterday, so I don't feel like I can really give a full tutorial of it. But the ability to see the analyzer and have it be so accurate, more so than all the free plugins I have, is definitely a help. And then also the ability to solo the band that you're working with and be able to hear as accurately. Again, I have free plugins where you can solo the band that you're working with, but none of them have done it as transparently as Pro-Q 3 has. So just a quick video. If you want to see a full tutorial, put it down in the comments. If you learned something here, or if you still have questions, put them down in the comments. And then what's your favorite plugin to mix with? Is there any plugin you've bought that you're like, oh, this definitely changed my life? Put it down in the comments, because I'm starting to become a believer that when the time is right, getting that plugin that does that thing can sometimes literally change your mixing life. So put that down in the comments. If you like this video, go ahead and hit subscribe, ding that notification bell so you can see all the videos as they come out. And as well, give this video a thumbs up if you're into that kind of thing. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next one.